Sir?
My name is Skip Murphy. I'd like to pass a couple things out if that's all right.
What time's breakfast?
What that is speaking to a right to know that I made of Tom for the operating budget, which is a normal thing of government agencies. RSA 91A is probably the citizen's most powerful tool to keep government in check. And I can see one of the huge problems here tonight, and probably going forward and in the past, is this a business or is this a government agency? Is it a company or is it a subdivision of the state of a subdivision of the state? Different rules apply to different entities. What I just passed out was I have a number of friends here, since I've been a political blogger for 16 years here in Belknap County and around the state and nationally. I made a request for the budget. I was turned down for the primary reason of we have to protect the business. What I'm showing is that the complete budget was put out a few years ago. Nothing ever happened to the business. And I'm asking the commission if they would take a vote to make sure that you are within RSA 91 precepts in releasing that budget in the format requested. This is not something that I've never done before. I've done it many times to other subdivisions of the state. At the general ledger line item, I understand it's not small, but that's fine. I've looked at large budgets most of my career. I want to understand what's going on in Gunstock. 91A gives me that right to do so. I know, Tom, you sent me an exception saying, no, you're not going to do that. I'm asking that, since the precedent has already been set, that the commission would vote to do that. I will also say I have done the right to know for past emails of both Tom and Kathy, and those were given to me. Some of it was mundane as expected. Some of it was very interesting, and a few of the emails were rather disturbing. But the interesting stuff, to allay your fears, Tom, contained a lot of financial information. I've done nothing with it. I have not given it to your competition, nor would I give it to your competition. That was not my purpose in asking for the budget at that line level. And given now that a friend seeing what I was looking for sent that to me, again, I'm asking for an override on that decision. I also have one more right to know that I am giving to the commissioners, which is something that I would expect to be fulfilled. And with that, I say thank you for your time and lawful consideration on both matters.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. So I don't know how many of you know 91A. Until 2 years ago, I never heard of it. There's a short memo by a former Attorney General on this RSA, which probably isn't longer than 15 pages long, that is 138 pages long. That's the memo on 91A. So it's a complex statute when you try to implement it, and I believe, I don't know if there was another member of the delegation that suggested that and I don't know who offers 91A training.
That would be the New Hampshire Right to Know Association.
Okay.
It's another advocacy group out there.
Yes, and so I think that that's a worthy undertaking for this commission, because you can read one section of it, one statute, and then you have to read another one, and I've obviously done that for a long time, but some of the finer points are patently ambiguous in the statute, and if there is someone that can help all of us at the commission and management level understand and comply, I think that's a wonderful idea, Mr. Murphy, and I applaud your efforts. I think that the thing that I considered about, I was aware of this budget request, is, and I think there are people in the audience that can confirm this, is I'm guessing that the the Belknap County budget is probably available. And I'm also guessing that the nursing home is probably available. Can someone confirm that?
I could write to know that tonight.
So,
They're online.
all right, so if they're online, I think for you, Tom, and Mr. Murphy's inquiry, is if the other elements, and I don't know anything about the jail or whatever the other parts of the Belknap County municipal operations are. The nursing home, there are plenty of publicly operated nursing homes, I'm guessing. And so if their budget is available, I think Mr. Murphy's request seems reasonable. So if,
I just don't know how many nursing homes competitively go after the same market. And maybe they do,
Neither
maybe
do
they're
I.
marketing the hell out of nursing homes, and I've just missed it. But, you know, it says in the 91A, which I, in the past 2 weeks, I've become a lot more familiar with than I wanted to. It says that you do not have to get at anything that puts you at a competitive disadvantage, and I'm not quoting it exactly.
Correct.
And we are competitively working in an environment in New Hampshire against a lot of other ski areas. And I would love to see all their budgets and all their line items and all the GL codes. And I think it puts us at a competitive disadvantage to be able to let those numbers out in the public. And it does say that in the 91A, and I'm sure that Mr.
It does.
knows more than I do about it, but
It does say competitive, it also says proprietary. But again, it comes back to that tension between, are you a business, as in a private company, or operating as a private company, which most of the people here have talked as if it is a business, especially you, Kathy. Or are you, I'm a software engineer, principal consultant, software architecture. My job was always to fix things, multi-million-dollar pieces of software, and it was always a case of what is the root cause? What is the root basis of what you're looking at? For all of the success that you're having right now, you are a government agency whose product is snow. In all of its varied forms and all the way that you entertain people, but you're still a government agency.
Want to buy some snow?
Oh, I used to ski until my knees and my hips went and my back.
so what is your interest in this budget?
That's
What do you expect to?
what do I want to see what the numbers are. Now, as you told me in one of your emails that it was not up to me to tell you who was a valid commissioner, I will tell you that it's above your pay grade to understand why I want that budget.
Can I ask in the goal of trying to reach some agreement here, if we release this 3 days before the start of fiscal year 17, and clearly it didn't result in the demise of the mountain, why can't we comply with his 91A request and avoid a legal fight? Because I sense that's what's coming if you don't comply with his 91A request.
You guys want to tell me you want me to comply with his request? I'll comply with his request. If you think that's a good idea and you feel that that's important to do, I think it's a bad idea, but if you guys want to tell me that's what I got to do, you're the commissioner.
Well, the only other option is we go to an attorney and say, do we have an escape clause with this proprietary information, and see if they agree. And even if we have an attorney who says to us, yeah, I agree, that doesn't prevent him from taking us to court, in which case a judge may say, well, yeah, proprietary is reserved for private business, and you're not a private business, so you fail. And then we wind up getting whacked with violation fees, or potentially you personally get whacked with violation fees. I don't want to see any of that happen. So I'm just trying to find, a comfortable agreement or compromise here.
All I ask is that the law be followed. And Kathy, I know you said you don't want to hear the word transparency anymore tonight, but I'm going to use it.
I mean, what more can we show you than we've just done the whole P&L? We've showed you the 6-year average, 6-year budget numbers. You need to go pick through every GL code. Like, listen, you guys say, send it to them. You guys say, as commissioners, Tom, I want you to release that information to Mr. Murphy. I'll do it. But you guys gotta tell me to do it.
I would make a motion that we agree to comply with Mr. Murphy's budget request. If the county budget and the nursing home budget are available online, I'm not confident, and are our audited financial statements available?
No, mine.
That's a general.
I think it is, you know what, to be honest, I don't really visit the website very often, so I don't know.
Peter,
They are handed out, but I don't know.
Peter, I'm glad you brought up the nursing. I'm glad you brought up the nursing home and the jail. The nursing home and jail are funded by taxpayer revenues of people that have to pay their taxes or they lose their property. This is not taxpayer funded. The income that comes into this business is generated by people who willingly spend their money to buy our products and services. And we compete against people in the public and the private sector for those customers. They would love to know what our
Point of order here,
Pardon?
you gotta understand that even a businessman gets revenue from voluntary people coming in and buying his product so he can pay his taxes to the county. I'm so sick and tired of you saying, this isn't the county's money. This is the county's money. This is the taxpayer's money. This is the taxpayer-owned business, if you want to call it the business. And everything that goes with that business belongs to the county.
I have to agree that it's not, the issue here is not where the revenue comes from, it's the fact that the mountain is owned by the county, it's owned by the taxpayer. It doesn't matter where the revenue comes from, it's the fact that the mountain is owned by the citizens of Belknap County, and therefore it's a governmental operation, and we have to comply with those laws that apply to governmental operations.
Mr. Kydash, may I address what you just said? I understand what your background is, and you've been extremely successful in business, and I applaud you for that, and you've reaped the rewards for that. But in providing the snow product, it doesn't matter where the revenue is coming from, as was just stated. It doesn't matter that you're running it as a business. The basis of this is that it's part of government. There are different rules and different regulations, and yes, some of them, as you were finding out tonight, make the democratic process, because of that, slow, messy, and infuriating on both sides. The problem is, you don't have a choice as far as the commission is concerned, or the people who work at Gunstock. I used to ski at Gunstock. I used to love it until everything went to crap in my body, and now I can't. But you have to follow the law. Otherwise, I would tell you, if you so believe in it, take it private or lease it and reap that benefit. And then once you do that, then you're not subject to these laws, like RSA 91A and a bunch of others, RS 399, and a whole bunch of others that I could stand here and list, but I'm not going to. All I'm asking for is to follow the law in a lawful request. And I have a number of other requests that are coming.
Thank you.
Croc TV.